Hey everyone, my name is Alexandra Brody, and today I'm going to be talking about the Minbar of the Great Mosque of Kairouan, specifically arguing how Islam's oldest minbar became a symbol of hierarchy. Before I talk about Kairouan and the famous minbar, I have to first explain the time period and importance early Islamic expansion was to the empire at this time. The prophet and founder of Islam, Muhammad, ends up dying in the year 632, and the Islamic world is taken over by the Al-Rashidun, which are his successors, and it translates to the rightly guided ones. And they rule for a period of time. Then the first hereditary dynasty, the Umayyads, takes over, pushing for expansion into new territories and more land. General Uqba is able to eventually conquer North Africa from the Byzantine Empire after pushing back, and founds Kairouan in 670. It ends up becoming the first Muslim place of prayer and was used for Friday sermon. In 750, the Abbasid Caliphate seizes power from the Umayyads, and the Abbasids are seen as more legitimate rulers because they can trace their lineage back to Muhammad's uncle, which means they built more lavish palaces and yearned for greater conquests for new territories. Under this caliphate, semi-independent groups ruled over certain areas that were far away from the Abbasids' capital, which is in Iraq. So, for instance, the Aghlabids ruled Tunisia under the Abbasid dynasty, but were still considered independent. The Aghlabids' governor, Prince Ziaudet Allah I, destroyed most of the city Uqba Mosque and rebuilt it in 836, making 2 more additions afterward. He constructed a rectangular building with a Wasl hall measuring 442 feet by 262 feet, and you can really see the pre-Islamic, Eastern Islamic, Roman, and Byzantine influence within this mosque. During the reconstruction of this mosque in the 9th century, the minbar was built in 862 for Friday sermon and has been housed in this particular mosque ever since. Minbars stem all the way back to the Prophet's Mosque, a mosque that was created by Muhammad, and a minbar was constructed around 629, and it was made out of a wooden seat and 3 steps where Muhammad could stand and lead sermon. Minbars evolved into a structure used by religious and political leaders and mosques since then. So, you might be asking, how has the minbar changed over time and grew to symbolize this kind of power and authority within mosques? As discussed, the Prophet Muhammad was the first to use a minbar. From then on, minbars became a requirement in mosques in which the imam, or the worship leader, would lead Friday sermon. It also tended to be used by political leaders because it was an elevated platform and established authority over others. As minbars became more popular, they became more elaborately decorated, meaning importing materials for the decoration and construction, textiles, wood, those kinds of things. And then the number of steps only grew larger, and the minbar was only taller and more garish. And then the placement in mosques were more defined. It was right next to the prayer niche that faced Mecca and near the prayer room or the maksura, which only political leaders could hold communal prayer and also be able to see the minbar from. And it was also underneath the cupola, which is a dome above the prayer niche. So this entire area was very sacred and significant within mosques. The minbar of the Great Mosque of Kairouan is so important in this argument because it is the oldest living Islamic minbar still in its original position, and it also comes from Kairouan, which is the fourth holiest Islamic city. The Minbar of Kairouan was made from Asian teakwood and comprised of 11 steps. Geometric, floral, and religious iconography were carved into each one of their panels. Not only was the minbar in the sacred area of the Great Mosque, but it also had a gate and posts, which signified the entrance into heaven. Therefore, religious and political leaders that walked up the steps entered into this sort of holy space, and with every step were close to Allah or God, making the congregation revere these figures. Measuring about 10.8 feet by 12.89 feet, you can notice how steep these steps are and how elevated the imam is while on the platform, appearing to be some sort of throne. Despite receiving damage and having to undergo restoration from an earthquake in the year 859, and from continued centuries of use, the minbar is truly breathtaking in its elaborate details. This minbar was constructed by Asian teakwood, showing Islamic influence over trade and imported goods during this time. Speculated to be made from Javanese teakwood from India or Indonesia, the panels were most likely carved in Samarra, Iraq, which was, if you remember, the Abbasid dynasty's capital during this time. And then when they were carved in the Samarra style, they were given to the Great Mosque of Kairouan to be assembled there. Based on these findings on the origin of Kairouan's minbar and how it was presented to the public, it can be concluded that the staircase is a physical representation of the early Islamic tradition and a display of social hierarchy. This minbar and others created during the early Islamic world can be seen as both a religious motif and a symbol of political power. Thank you so much for listening and watching this presentation on Kairouan's minbar, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.